Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Empire Earth. I'm the Serious JG. I haven't recorded this since before my operation, which if you are just watching the games and not watching the channel stuff, you might not know about, and that's your freaking right. So let's move on without talking about that any further. We have finished the learning scenario. We have finished the first campaign, the Greek campaign. So we're ready at long last to move on to the second of the four actual non-just tutorial campaigns, the English campaign. And this will be the end of where I've played ahead at all, because I goofed around a little bit with the first few missions of this during that same period of being stuck at home with just the laptop and not my other stuff and gaming. So we're ready to go to the return of young William, the noble Sir William. Bill Dundee, the noble Sir William. For hundreds of years, beginning the 11th century AD, England and France battled for land, honor, and eminence in Europe and around the world. Conflicts raged from minor infantry skirmishes to all-out war, but even a decisive victory seldom stopped the fighting for long. Take control of England and command her forces in one of the greatest international rivalries in history. So let's get on with the return of the noble Sir William. With Middle Eastern music, is it? No? I don't know.
William stared through the thick of the trees, squinting his eyes in the early morning light to detect the enemies he knew were nearby.
Is it William Regal or is it Steven Regal?
Band of men to follow, he slipped silently through the trees, moving forward, always listening, always watching.
Like
Torn
a
from
tape
his rightful
recorder.
place as heir to the
Who
Dukedom
watches.
of Normandy, William had been forced to remain in secret for years, outcast and rejected. But now the time had come to return, to make his presence known throughout all of Normandy. William was ready to seek revenge for the injustice done to him by Lord Steven, governor of Falaise. He would have Normandy, and perhaps even more.
What more could there be than Normandy? So I am not an expert in history. I know a little bit about. I know a couple of things about a couple of things. But I mean, part of what makes a rivalry between England and France so complicated is that at various points, I don't know that I don't know that what we would think of today as the forerunners of the current French. So like it's complicated now because of course the French have republics. The French deposed their monarchs and cut off their heads and had a bloody period of craziness, and then Napoleon took over and became emperor, and then there's Napoleon III at some point. I don't remember who Napoleon II was. I don't know that he ever ruled France, but France had a convoluted history. England has had a fairly stable history in the sense that, well, there were wars of the roses and wars over who the monarch was, but there was always a monarch of England. And even today, that's the head of state. France is more complicated, but at the same time, I don't think anybody who would be considered a truly French king ever ruled land in England. But there's been times in history where the king of England, like there were lands in what we think of today as France, including Normandy, that would have been part of the lands held by the king of England. Like, so you have the whole Henry V thing where he wants tribute or whatever from the nobles in France, and they send him the tennis balls. Because they're basically telling him, fuck you, you're on the other side of the channel, you can't do shit to us. But no, this is maybe we'll get a little bit more if I would shut up and just get to the history part here. Because we have to travel the countryside and gain allies until we're strong enough to defeat the bridge guards, and William must survive. But we will get the history now. So maybe instead of me just like blanketly stating, oh yeah, at different points the King of England ruled parts of what we think of today as France, maybe we'll get something more useful here. William was born in 1027, the illegitimate son of Robert I, Duke of Normandy. Robert perished from a fever during a trip to the Holy Land when William was only 8 years old. Presumably this is connected to the Crusades. When they say a trip to the Holy Land, I don't know for sure. Following the Duke's death, the Duke of Death, the struggle for who would gain the title of Duke of Normandy was fierce. William's early years were marked by close calls and assassinations of those whom he held dear, including his own guardians as they were asleep in bed. Somehow, William survived it all I grew into a strong young man. That's right, I've started this little mini recording session really tired already. Near the middle of the 11th century, the issue of who was to be duke was still not resolved. Sensing the instability, King Henry of France decided it was a good time to intervene in Normandy, overlooking a promise he made to William's father regarding William's status. He sent troops into Normandy, capturing the border fortress of Tilliers, or whatever. Another more serious strike was then made on William's territory. Henry entered the country of Guismes, burning and pillaging as he went. He then sacked the town of Argenton. I don't know how to pronounce any of these French names. Before retreating, Lord Steven, the Norman governor of Falaise and sworn protector of the region, did nothing to oppose Henry's incursions. If anything, it seems that Steven used the invasion to further his own personal gains, taking this opportunity to fortify the castle of Falaise. For William, this was something that could not be ignored. So he's the deposed Duke of Normandy who's trying to raise an army to get back what rightfully belongs to him, because the French are trying to retake Normandy from the British. Our first stop should be the village to the east of our starting location. We begin the scenario with a smaller supply of resources using to purchase improvements for units, as you will lead them to once combat begins. And again, having played this off screen, the next scenario is a no-build fight monster creeps type scenario, but this one is in what is I've come to think of as the classic Age of Empires style, although they dropped this in the fourth and final campaign where we're under constant aggressive attack at all times. But in these campaigns, it's like, oh yeah, we'll let you build a base and then you can just gather resources as long as you want. There will be no attacks. This is going to be a little bit like that. Don't forget you can use William's battle cry in combat when things are going badly. The map is divided into two sections, with the river separating them and one bridge across the river. Make sure you gain all the allies you can before attempting to cross over the bridge. When you arrive in Falaise, if your troops are beleaguered, you might find resources nearby with which to rebuild your army. Try following the local footpaths. Okay, we will do that. Like the robot in the top right corner of that little splash screen.
My father's old friend is master of a village east of here. Perhaps he can help us.
He is a giant robot. I love the guy on the left there. Yeah, the use of the in-game little character models for story cinematics is fun because they're so bad.
Ahead. The path to the dukedom shall start here.
Enemy archers are ahead. The path to the dukedom shall start here. I am that person.
Yes, your service.
Oh, see, they have longbows too. I thought the whole thing was that the English longbows were like the best ever. Am I gonna go use this power on them?
At your service. Death to the heathens, my ally. We're under attack. For the crown!
Oh, he's one of these magic healer kings? Okay, good. I am that person. Sorry, I haven't watched that one in a while. Mighty Jack. It's a good Mystery Science Theater episode, to be sure. So it doesn't seem like we're under a lot of threat from these particular enemies. As long as they're in small groups. We were warned specifically not to try to cross the bridge until we'd gotten all the help we were going to get. So let's head for this village, which they helpfully showed us on the map.
With all my heart.
We will head to the village with all our heart. This is probably the path. I don't think we're meant to be traversing the snow. It's a nigget.
Yes, my lord. Swordsman, forward. We Saxon dogs.
We Saxon dogs. Let me get a close up of some faces here.
Your business in our fair town.
We start in your general direction.
I am William, the rightful Duke of Normandy. During King Henry's invasion, Lord Steven sought to take what is mine by birth.
Silly English niggets.
I come to you to make a plea for assistance. If you consent to help, I shall reward you handsomely when I am Duke.
Tell them we already have one.
We shall have our help.
By one, I mean in the Holy Grail. Monty Python, the Holy Grail. Come on. Alright, now we got a Nigget. That person, who has far less hit points than... Oh, there's additional Niggets.
We are growing stronger. I know of another
We
town
grow
far to the
stronger
northwest
every
of here that
day.
may also pledge their support.
We don't get to use these, Well, this hospital might, heal our guys if they get hurt, but... that person, again.
With my honor.
Alright, so then... These mounted fellows, and...
Yes, my lord. Sire.
So these guys, who are...
Yes, my lord.
Pikemen and,
Yes, my lord.
longswords. I know they're different with different specialties, but I'm just using them as non-ranged guys.
Service.
Alright.
At your service.
So we have a certain amount of sneaking around, trying not to encounter too many British or French forces at once at the beginning, but eventually we will get a base where it turns into a little bit more of a standard
For the throne.
type of thing. Do we have points to spend yet? Not yet. Okay. I believe... Well, the English campaign goes a long ways, but I'm pretty sure it wraps up when we're fighting Napoleon, so...
My honor.
At the very, very, very end of this whole thing, knights may no longer be useful, but I think they'll be useful for a lot of this scenario.
My heart. Death to the heathens.
Death to the
With
infidel.
all my heart.
We will give them death with all of our hearts.
Pikemen, forward.
Pikemen forward, but
Forward.
way, way slower than the horses.
For the throne. With my honor. Death to the heathens.
Mm-hmm.
With all my heart.
See them heathens? See him there? Getting some death. Okay, nobody was guarding. Oh,
They are beset by bandits.
bandits? Bandito?
With all my heart. Pikemen.
Okay, this is rather bad, actually.
With all my heart.
I think the more of them die, the few guys we get, but...
We are under attack. With my honor. For the throne. Yes, my lord. Attack with sharpened steel. Sire. For the throne.
I'm about to lose a knight if we're not careful.
Thank you, young lord, for saving our town.
I'm sticking my tongue out.
Offer in return for your gallant rescue. But please accept this sword, painstakingly forged by a blacksmith.
Painstakingly?
It is the finest blade in all Normandy, and I'm sure you'll have use for it. Take whatever else you need. Our town is yours.
Oh, really? Okay. Sticking my tongue out at you. Female citizen has told us what's up. So,
My ally. My lord.
yeah, we didn't get a lot of new troops because I didn't act fast. Well, the problem is I let my horses like right up front, which means
Death to the
that it's like, oh, never mind, I can charge in without my whole army, or I can wait till my whole army gets here. The attack isn't triggered until your army gets there. But I made the rookie's mistake of,
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord.
oh, he's a crossbow. These are longbows, so he's a different guy anyway. He's a different guy.
Yes, my lord. At your service.
Alright, well, he'll have him join in
My lord.
all the reindeer games.
My ally. For the throne. At your service.
But I think the main thing is we got the sword, which represents these checkpoints. So, cavalry sword. H-I-J-K. I'm just making sure K comes after I by saying the alphabet out loud. H-I-J-K. So knight is not a thing, which means I believe cavalry sword is going to be a thing. So let's increase their attack and hold the rest for now. Alright, let's have the whole group march ahead, but occasionally pull the knights back so they don't get too far ahead. I guess the game will tell us when we've hit all the places where troops are expected to gather. Well, they all march at the same speed if I group them. Yeah, I must have individually made the different units move, and that's why the... Alright, little groups like that will be just fine, actually. We can get just like fight the entire French army in groups of like 2 guys. We'll have it all covered. For power and glory. Pretty Paul Roman the Barbarian. Was it the Barbarian or was it Hercules Hernandez? Who was the non-Paul Roma half of Power and Glory? I don't remember now. Trying to let the archers catch up a bit. Because surely something will happen when we get to this town. Maybe these guys will join us without a fight. That would be nice. Hey, friends.
Death to the heathens.
Oh, hello, Mayor. Love your hat.
You are the one they call William? We
Uh-huh.
have heard of your plight and pledge our support to you. The future Duke.
Well, I could voice act for this game, like for real.
Now we are strong enough to cross the river and enter the city of Falaise.
Felicio. Alright. So we have enough allies to cross the bridge. So we should probably hop right to it. I am that person. Oh no, I just realized something though. These knights are not sword guys, they are spear guys. So I upgraded the wrong guys. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll kicking myself. I hate that I wasted those points. I can't take them back. But I think it is. I should have gone with cavalry spear. I might have to look at the wiki later. For now, let's just keep going. I might redo some of this off screen to have not messed that up.
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. My lord.
Because long swords would also potentially be important. Okay.
My ally. We. With my honor.
Get you guys out of the way.
Yes, my lord.
Don't get to use the mayor. I have a very natural accent.
Yes, your service. Yes, my lord. My lord. Death to the heathens.
Alright. The rest of you will be
Yes, my lord.
Group 2. And I think I gotta redo this whole nonsense. We'll finish the video, and then I'll just redo what we've done so far, and maybe not even spend the points until I've had a chance to research more carefully.
With all my heart. Pikemen, forward. With all my heart. Pikemen,
Who knows, maybe there'll be later missions where we've got lots of cavalry fighting with swords, but these appear to be spear cavalry to me.
yes, my lord.
Maybe once I have the ability to build units, I'll see if they have horsemen and knights, and horsemen clearly have swords, and knights clearly have spears, and then I'll know that I was a sucker.
Attack with sharpened steel. Death to the heathens. With all my heart.
I want to murder them with all my heart. I so badly want to see them all die. Here we go.
Saxon dogs. Swordsmen, forward. Pikemen, forward. We're under attack.
So you guys are just gonna hang out and not even participate in that fight?
Okay, my lord.
I'm apparently not good at micro in this game.
Sire. Swordsmen, forward. Yes, my lord. Death to the heathen. We, with my honor.
We with my honor. My honor has gone straight to wee-wee.
Overthrown. With my honor.
Oh well, I mean, I guess the computer's not that good at micro either. I can just,
With my honor.
get these guys to chase me into dangerous situations.
All my heart. Ally.
That is, if I can find them. There are, by the way, I know from goofing around, really taking my time with this map off screen, there's nothing of any interest to find resource-wise over here.
With my honor.
The bridge looks well guarded, but with enough men, we should be able to take
My
it.
lord. My ally. With my honor.
I thought I might have lured them out. There we go. They're coming.
We're under attack. Yes, my lord. Attack with sharpened steel. My lord. My ally. My lord. Okay, my lord. With my honor.
We certainly did. We're certainly right, Ollie. We certainly killed those handful of guys. Which I guess there must be more, otherwise they really made too much of how many guys we'd need here.
For the throne.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
With my honor. For the throne. My lord. For God and country attack. My ally.
Okay, I guess some of my guys just decided to go and they get murdered.
For the throne. Yes, death to the heathen.
So I definitely got some losses there.
Sire. My ally.
Okay. There may be a few guys on this... There may be a few guys to kill here just for the hell of it, but I don't think we'll unlock anything.
For the crown. For honor and glory.
Yeah, I feel like this is just map completion now.
For the crown.
But there might be a few little small patrols. We got the outskirts of this village here. We got another female citizen. Alright, so here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to call it a video a little early, and I'm going to replay through this whole thing real quick without spending those Civ points. And when we come back next time, we will cross the bridge. And our invasion of Normandy will begin in earnest. See you then.